just got nothing better to do.
No, they haven't. Do you know what you're doing there, mate? Do you know what you're doing there acting as a police officer? I don't have to even speak to you, mate, because legislation only applies with consent. You're enforcing legislation. That's not your job. I'm not driving, mate.
You were when we stopped.
Go and look at the definition in the Black's Law Dictionary. I'm not driving. No, do not.
You're in the driving seat.
Listen to me, right? Driving, definition, right, is to act in commerce, right, to carry goods, items for sale as goods, the definition for that. Go and learn the language, mate, what you're speaking.
You're driving a car.
I'm not. I'm travelling in my automobile. That's what I'm doing.
You're driving a car.
I'm not. That's legalese language. I don't speak legalese. I speak English, mate.
Well,
correct sentence structure, pass 18 grammar. I'm a paralegal.
English,
I'm a paralegal investigative journalist, mate. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
You're driving car on the road.
No, listen, I'm not driving, mate. I'm not. Prove it. Prove I'm driving, mate. Go and look up the definition, right, and tell me I'm driving. Am I acting in commerce? No. Am I this a taxi? Is this a bus or is it a wagon? No, would you go and learn the language and go and learn the law, mate. That's all I'm saying. That's what you need to do. You know what you do, right? Go and learn the law, because you haven't got a clue and you're enforcing policy, mate, and you don't know the law.
I'm quite aggressive. Is there any reason for that?
I'm not being aggressive, mate. I'm speaking to you.
I'm quite aggressive.
No, that's what you're always saying. You're all full of shit. That's all you are. Full. It is. I'm not being abusive. I'm stating a fact, mate. You're full of shit. I'm not swearing, mate. Shit's not a swear word. It's in the English dictionary. It's in the English dictionary, mate.
Well, it might be. Swear words.
Are you offended by it? Because in your policy, you're not allowed to be offended. So, go and learn your policy. Have you got your camera on? Have you got your camera on?
My camera is on, yeah.
Is it? Yeah, well, you're supposed to notify me when you put the camera on. Do you know that?
Well, you saw me put
you don't even know your own policy, do you, mate? Hurry up. Am I being detained for any reason? Am I being detained for any reason?
I'm checking you that you were legitimately driving this.
I'm not driving. I've just told you that, mate. I'm travelling in my automobile.
Because you're being obstructive. It's taking me longer.
You're breaking the law by enforcing legislation by someone who doesn't consent.
I can't hear.
No, because there's an emergency, is there? You're going to follow up some more legislation.
An emergency.
You're enforcing legislation, mate, and it doesn't matter what you do, right? It doesn't count to me, because I've got an unreported signed affidavit going to all MPs, right? I took my consent away to legislation and be governed by legislation, so it doesn't apply to me, mate. There's no obligation. Okay, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time with that, and you'll find out. I don't drive, mate. I've got a full driving license if I care to drive, yeah, in my legal fiction name. I have, yeah. Go and check your records, mate. That's all you need to do. I'm not going to say nothing else.
Just confirm your date of birth.
Can you identify yourself, please?
Yeah, it's Constable 2929 Grantham, there, please.
Right.
Can you confirm your date of birth?
I haven't got a date of birth, mate. Do you want to know when I was born? Is that what you're after? Because you know what a date of birth. I was never birthed into a.
When were you born?
I was never birthed right into a dock from the Admiralty Law on the sea. Okay. That's what that's all about.
When were you born?
When was I born?
That's your preferred terminology. I'm happy to use it. When were you born?
18th of April 1964.
Thank you.
And that's proper English, mate. Correct sentence structure. Not terminology, mate. That's what you speak. Terminology, legalese. It's all bullshit, mate. It's a mixed up language. And you know who's created the English language? Justinian. Go to school and learn, mate. Because you're thick. That's why you're in that job, because you're thick and you'll follow orders like the Nazis did.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly a fact, mate. That is a fact. And you one day, you might wake up to it all and learn that you're being used by fucking bankers, right, to enforce legislation. We're governed by consent, is that right? Is that right? Are we policed by consent? I don't consent then. I don't consent then. See, and you're still enforcing it. You know you're breaking the law because I've just told you I don't consent to legislation. You haven't got a clue about the law, mate.
You say you hold a driving licence, Mr. Austin?
I've got a driving licence in a legal fiction name, yeah, because when I got it right, I didn't understand the law and I didn't understand what names it in. I'm Mr. Reginald Austin.
With that date of birth, the 18th of the 4th?
Yeah, that's the date of birth. That's the date. That's the date of birth was registered, mate, with the Crown. The name, the name was registered with the Crown. It's Crown copyright protected, and it even says it on the birth certificate. Go and learn something
Do you
about
have
the
your driving
law.
licence with you at all?
No, I've got nothing, mate. I'm not driving anyway. I've told you I'm travelling.
Well, would you be that all nice, wouldn't we?
No, we wouldn't,
You are driving
because
a
you
car.
haven't got the sense to
You don't think
realise.
you are, but I say you are.
It's not a debate, mate. It's a fact.
What postcode's your driving licence under?
I've told you once.
L6.
Yeah.
What's the second part?
2W. L6 2WN.
2WN.
Yeah.
I'm just having a bit of trouble finding driving licence. That's all it's not.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's because I took my consent away and I don't need a driving licence anymore.
You're unsure though, are you?
Of course I am. You go and check it through, I'll tell you on your thing.
You already have.
Just taking the piss, you're just
Yeah,
standing
just
around doing
taking
nothing.
the piss.
Just getting out of your job, standing around, loitering, harassing members of the public.
What's your name, mate?
Haven't got a name.
You haven't got a name, okay.
No.
Have you got a name in the back?
Not obliged.
You're not obliged, so you have got a name, you just don't want to tell me, that's fine.
No, they're all owned by the Crown, mate. Crown copyright protected, their all names are. Don't you know that? It says not proof of identification. Copyright protected by the Crown.
No,
What?
I love it, mate.
Look at you.
Look at me, I'm a clue.
No.
I'm fucking starving here, mate.
Can you identify yourself as well, please, mate?
3803 Molyneux.
3 what?
3803 Molyneux.
Molyneux. And him as well, please.
Sorry?
And him as well, please.
8466.
8468.
8466.
What's your name?
Gary.
Gary. Thanks, mate.
Okay, I've seen that you've got a driving licence and you've got insurance in place, Mr. Austin. Thanks
I
for
don't
your
tell
time.
lies, mate. I'm an honourable man.
Sorry?
I don't tell lies. I'm an honourable man.
And equally, I've not suggested that you do.
I'm a qualified lawyer, mate, and I know what I'm talking about during the law. You need to learn, right, what you're doing. You're enforcing policy, right, to people who don't consent. Nobody could be forced to consent to policy. So once somebody says, I don't consent to action statutes, you're supposed to go, okay, there's no crime being committed. Thank you very much, sir, and walk away. That's your job, mate. You're a constable. Know your card where it says police officer, and it's got little tiny letters underneath, police constable. You're acting as a police officer for legislation working for the government, right? And you get paid by us to act as a constable to protect people and property, not to chase up legislation for a fucking banker who's going to make loads of money out of all this revenue. And you know what, mate? You just need to learn the law,
You've
you
got
know.
family, mate.
You just need to learn the law. Your kids are going to grow up with your grandkids,
No,
right?
it's a
And they're going to
joke,
go
lad.
into this dystopian fucking tyrannical world, what we're heading for. You haven't got a clue what's going on, have you? Look at him smiling, look. You haven't got a clue, have you? Have you got kids, mate? I've got nothing against the police, you know. Do you know what? I've got every respect. My granddad was a sergeant for 18 years, right? I've got every respect for the police when they do the job. But you know, when they're chasing legislation for the government, it's not for your benefit, mate. It's not for our benefit. It's for them rich bastards, right, who pay these governments to put legislation to make people have insurance. They open the companies first, right? They start the insurance companies, and then they pay these politicians loads of money to pass legislation. And then overnight, when everyone gets asked to get insured, they made millions over it, mate. And use
The first thing I want to point out, make clear, is some time ago I told you, thanks for stopping.
Yeah.
And I've cleared any information I wanted,
Yeah.
and you're free to go. So this
Yeah,
conversation,
well, I know that now,
we're
yeah.
just talking. I'm not holding you here.
No,
okay?
I never
So,
said you was. I'm just having a
no,
conversation
I'm
with
just
you.
clarifying
I'm
it.
just having a conversation,
That's
right,
fine.
where I'm not held by the fucking collar like that over legislation. I'm just trying to. I've got nothing against you
Okay.
personally.
You
It's
do come
not
across
right.
as a little bit aggressive. And
Do I?
defensive.
Do I? Well, that's
Yeah,
your
I mean,
opinion. And
it is my
everyone's
opinion.
entitled to their own opinion, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, okay? And just for
Have
clarification...
I threatened you in any way? Have I made you feel unsafe?
No.
So I'll make the rest of them. You stretch your words, you don't understand your words you're using.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm frustrated.
Because you've
And
already said to me,
you're right, I
you've
am
gone on
angry, mate.
against me, so there's no need
I am
to-
angry about what's going on, mate.
Okay.
And you're enforcing policy
So just
for rich bankers.
okay, you've got your opinion. I'm being
Yeah,
clear
just
with
like you have.
The reason you've been stopped tonight is because at the minute there's a whole
Yeah, because
series
what?
of Range Rover vehicles particularly being stolen.
Is the
So if your Range Rover vehicle was stolen,
yeah.
you might want the police to stop the pair.
No, mate, I wouldn't call the police for nothing, mate.
Well, that'll be your prerogative, okay?
Yeah, no.
But that's what we're paid to do.
No, you're not. You're
We
paid
are.
to protect people and property.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
someone's
By us.
property. So if it's been stolen, we'll be
Yeah,
protecting
it wouldn't matter if it's insured and taxed and all that. If you weren't protecting the people and the property, you're looking for legislation to find somebody, right? For legislation,
No.
and it's mate, it's by consent. Once you say you don't consent,
Yeah.
we don't have to buy tax. But you know what, mate? If I done and went by the law, right? Because I know what I'm talking about. My car had no tax and insurance on. Use and that fucking Northwest Recovery. Take the car and then I have all this messing about to get the car back, and I've never paid yet, mate. I get it back with the paperwork, and I don't pay, and I get an apology. But what's the hassle? You just need to learn the law and learn
But
to
are
do
you
your
talking
job.
about tax?
Talking about tax and insurance on cars, yeah.
Legislation, mate,
Police don't
forcing
have to do it,
legislation.
You what?
The police don't deal with tax.
No, but you
Not anymore, you don't. Not anymore, you don't, because of the paperwork
No, but
what's
you
been
just said
going
you
in.
had your vehicle seized
Just
for
have-
tax.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
past
But
for
not-
having no
not by the
tax.
police.
I have for having no tax, mate.
But not-
I got it seized not long ago for having no MOT,
Not in recent times.
mate.
Yeah,
A
couple
few
of
months
weeks
ago,
ago,
no, a few
On the
months ago it was.
tax alone.
No, for no MOT, and it was taxed
Oh, I
and
see,
insured.
so that's
And they took my
MOT,
car
not tax.
because they were being funny because they didn't like what I was saying. Because they don't understand what I'm talking about when I talk about the law. You haven't got a clue about the law. You just need to learn the law, you know, if you're going to enforce it. You do, really. Honestly,
We're all
God,
the
mate.
same bloodlines, mate, all in this country, do you know what I mean?
Do you know these bankers are making millions and billions out of us, out of you chasing policy for them, mate? We don't benefit from it. And you know, your
don't
families and your
either.
kids will grow up and you're not a copper and they're not. They'll have to put up with all that shit as
I know.
well. Do you know what I mean? You just need to realise what you're doing.
Because there are good people in deep
I
down,
know, just
mate, do you know what I mean?
just doing the police to help out, I know that. And then you get all this red tape shit where you've got to enforce policy and you've got to get so much policy fucking sorted out. It's all for the bankers, mate. It's not for you or me or your family or nothing, because you'll still get paid the same, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, working
know what I
your
mean?
arse off anyway, do you know what I mean?
It's the last thing I said to you. I've told you the reason why I've stopped you.
Yeah.
I've told you. that
Oh, well, am I
I'm
keeping
happy,
you, mate?
I'm
Am I
legit.
keeping you now?
Hey?
Am I keeping you?
You're not keeping me.
No, we'll see.
Part
It's-
of my job is community engagement.
It's
and if you
great.
want to
Well,
chat
it's
to me, I'll
great.
chat to
You seem like anxious to get away. Why? I'm enjoying this chat.
I think the last thing I ever seem is anxious to get away.
Well, you've said it about 2 or 3 times now that you want to get
I'm
away.
just making
Go on, I'll
sure
let you
that
go,
you're
mate.
aware because,
Go on.
You
some-
say me on, yeah?
some
Will you say
people
me on,
think
yeah? Will you?
that we're detaining them, and I'm not detaining anyone. I'll shake your hand.
Cheers, mate. You seem like a good man, honest to God,
You
you
do,
do.
lad, you
Because
do.
I've met some coppers, right, and they've just got an ego. And just because you don't agree with what you're saying, they mess you about, mate, and you're being sound, you're
As
being
you
professional.
know, everyone's entitled to an opinion.
Everybody.
I've had a
Like
long
I've
day
said,
at work myself.
I've had the information off you that I'm happy that you're legitimately.
Yeah, but look
going
into
about
what
the
I'm
business.
saying about opinions, right? It's not an opinion, it's a fact, mate, that you're not there to enforce policy, mate. That's acts and statutes, and we're governed and policed by consent. And you know when somebody says, I don't consent, why do you just ignore it? Because once they say you don't consent and you ignore it, you're the one who's the criminal, then, you know.
Well,
That's called
we're
tyranny.
not going to.
It's called tyranny and malfeasance in a public office. It's what it is.
We're not going to agree, are we?
No.
In the
Go and
fact
learn
that-
the law. Do you know what malfeasance is?
You know, you've already agreed with me. That
Yeah, but do you know what
we're
malfeasance
trying
is?
to do the right thing and do a
Yes,
decent
hard.
job.
Most things
You
you
know,
do.
but you're tied by your superiors and making you do your job because you just won't have a job if you don't do as you're told, mate. They're called order followers. And go and look up what in the Black's Law Dictionary, right? What order follows the definition is. Go and have a look and you'll be shocked. Go
Right,
on.
let's go.
See
Well,
you
you
later.
have a
You
good
take it
night,
easy.
lad,
You
yeah.
You two have a good night.
you
Be
too.
safe, lads.
Have a good night. I've got that all
Right.
every single
Go down.
Knew they were going to pull me. That's why I stared up.
way that, you know. I'm not obliged to give no one my name, mate.
See the way they don't bully me, mate. Hey,